good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and not necessarily in that order. In fact, it is in that order, very much in that order. You wouldn't say good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, would you? Can you hear me, Spencer? You're fiddling around with your earpiece.
I can, in fact, hear you. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, excellent. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. So, Spencer's here. You can see that, and you can hear him chuckling away. Someone's said, "What's happened to the wires coming out of your headphones, mate?" I'm surprised you can hear me. There's no wires coming out the bottom.
I can. Do you know? I never know my left from my right. I cut them off.
Do you know when Xbox? Right, you know when they stopped having these, right? In the Xbox,
what you mean a cable? Yeah,
a cable, right?
So
it would go straight to the console. Now I was used to when I used to sit down and play this, it would sort of traipse over your lap, past your legs, and into the console. What I used to do is every so often I used to sort of flick it like that because it was on top of my leg.
Oh, yeah.
Even when they went wireless, the habit was still in it. I used to do it initially. I used to flick the bloody thing, and then, of course, there was no cable on my leg, so I could talk about muscle memory.
Very much so. I did much the same thing. You know, you got to put the controller down and got to step over the cable.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Right. So anyway, myself and Spencer yesterday. So here's 6 degrees of separation for you. Yesterday, myself and Spencer took Ghostbusters from this house to Davey's house. Davey is Stumblor. Now, Ghostbusters is not Davey's. Ghostbusters is John's. John is J-Mag. You know him from the forum. John was the guy that we did. Is the one collection video I've done thus far, even though I announced it as a series, which it will be once I can video more collections. Hint, hint. Anybody, thank you very much. But he was the owner of the lovely Whitewater, which was refurbished by Chris. Getting tenuous. They ain't even started yet. So myself and Spencer took the Ghostbusters, which is John's, down to Davey's. Now, when we went to Davey's, we were dropping off John's Ghostbusters, where John also had his Lord of the Rings, which was at Davey's. But it used to be my Lord of the Rings, funnily enough. Now, whilst we were there, I was collecting an ACDC to take back with me. But not Davey's ACDCs, and not even John's ACDCs. This was Collywobble's ACDC, which was residing at Davey's. It's coming back to live with me for a bit before it goes to Scotty Doesn't Know. I've not finished yet, by the way, just in case you're tuning out. So we were down there, and also John returned my Deadpool, which he's had for a while, and that Deadpool is going down to Spencer's. So it's not even, it's tombstoned in the house. It's not even going to be untombstoned, if that's the whatever the phrase is.
Is that a thing? Can you I suppose
I think it's just in standard orthodox missionary position.
It's not tombstoned. Yes.
it's
Did you just say that?
When a pinball machine on 4 legs is in standard orthodox missionary position, it's probably not. It's probably a doggy.
Do you know what? I was going to say doggy, and I thought, should we do that? Should we go there? Apparently we are. Okay, but it's on all fours. The pinball machine is on all fours. All fours. Yes.
Oh gosh. So anyway, so Spencer's. So anyway, so it's in tombstone. In a tombstone stance at the moment.
Yes. Up against. No, I won't say it.
Oh dear. So that's going down to Spencer's. We had a lovely day, and thank you for everybody that is involved in a sort of menage. I was going to say menage a trois, whatever it is, menage.
This menage a Quinn, wasn't it, or something? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, we had a great day. So following on from all of that, we actually filmed a Chinwag with Davey while we were there. So this has part of this Chinwag, so you'll see us on location, we like to call it. That's the posh name for it. So we had a little rummage around in Davey's stuff here. Mate, you're incredibly impressed with Davey's Rippler, weren't you?
Oh, incredibly, mate. Incredibly.
But you loved all that.
I love a Rippler.
That was one of Dave's boards.
A good little technical day for me. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed it a lot.
We did so we did a workshop video, which was so that will be the second in the series. If you remember, the Whitewater is on there. Chris B's Whitewater, which is now John's. So that's the first one. This will be the second in the series, which is his creature from the Black Lagoon. We got the camera everywhere. We took a real lot of footage of it. Spencer, that's the first time you've seen that machine.
What a job he's done. And he does need to get out more because just the level of detail he's gone to is unbelievable on it. Not only his mods, but just all the cabling and everything. We do like it. We do like a coloured cable tie and a bit of what's the word they use for the covering the cables? It's
braiding.
Braiding. Why did I forget braiding?
I don't know.
I know braiding. But
yesterday we know braiding.
Absolutely. But braiding is one of my favourite things, and he's done a lot of it. It's really clean. It's really well done. It's nicely braided. All the cabling is beautiful. Everything's labelled. And the amazing thing is you just got to watch the video because the amount of level of detail he's gone to with screen printing some of his own graphics on it because they weren't quite in the right colour. And the only way you can get that colour is to screen print it above and beyond the Call of Duty. Above and beyond.
Yeah, fantastic. So you can look forward to that. There's not a massive amount of edits in there. Maybe we'll show them as a little sneaky peek on this. I'll edit in some of the braided cable just so you can see it on here. But it's a real.
Are you going to edit out that bit where you farted?
I actually, fun enough, I alluded to. I was doing the initial impression of the ACDC machine earlier. And you've got the air fresheners with the batteries in it, and you can set it so every 30 minutes it goes. So during that, it went like that. It was more of a wee than a fart, really. But anyway, it sounded. And actually, in the middle of the video, I said, "That was not me." By the way, I actually picked up the air freshener and said, "That's the air freshener."
Only this time there was nobody else to blame. That's why. Yeah. Even the dog wasn't in the house.
No, even my dogs weren't in the house at this point. So that was really, really good. We brought ACDC back here, Deadpool back here, took Ghostbusters, and you got to have a little play on Alien when you were here.
Yes, yeah. Well, we had a little bit of time. We shifted the machines back in the back of the van. Got two in the back of the van, which was a bit of an eye opener. Just got in there.
That's good news. That's good news for Pimpfest. Yes, that's really important for in our little world, it's important. We got two pinball machines in the back of the van. So two. And
what make and model is your van? Just in case anybody's interested.
Mind your own business. In fact,
come on, somebody else might have one.
No, it's a Ford Transit Combi Custom SWB.
You can get 2 pens in the back of it.
You can.
It's all good.
Sure.
So we had a bit of I would call leftover time between unloading ACDC and Deadpool, and then putting it up against the wall in the living room, and so I had about half an hour to have a quick introduction to Alien, and I loved it.
I did like it.
I did have a little go at the one at Pinfest. But there's a story behind that. I didn't get an awful lot of time on it. But this one, I could hear it, which was nice because obviously at Pinfest you got so much noise going on, so much background noise. You can pick up some of the key sound effects, but you don't pick up all the nuances. The effects are great. The game seems really nice, easy to understand. I could follow what was going on. I'm sure it's deeper than I might have only scratched the surface.
You did,
but the shots were good. The theme was good. I really enjoyed playing it. A real pleasant surprise.
And there was you did particularly the sounds you were particularly impressed with.
Yeah, there's a lot of sounds from the original film, just sort of incidental sounds in the background. Like, oh yeah, I remember at the very start. The little sounds of the computers as the text comes up on the screen. It has that sort of like little dit noise, and there's obviously the scanner when the aliens are approaching you. That's very iconic. You get the scanner graphics on the screen, and it puts you on edge because it reminds you of the film, and it reminds you of the tension that happened in the film when that was going on. You want to look at the screen, but you can't because you're looking at the pinball table. And there's that sense of urgency about it. It's like, how long have I got? Am I going to get got? Are they going to get me?
But you said the bassiness of the sound. Not the sounds within it, but actually the sound quality you really liked. It was very moody and very bass.
Yeah, there's a real heavy bass on it, that I find very engaging. Very engaging indeed. I do like a machine that's got a good bass sound on it. Because I probably just because I'm a boy of the 90s and I've done too much clubbing in my time, but it kind of floats my boat. I really liked it. I'd love to have one in the house. Really would.
What, a club?
Yeah, let's do that.
Actually, this is a really good opportunity to say there is one alien left in stock at Pinball Heaven. There are 2 Batman 66s.
A really good machine. If anybody wants a Batman, or not sure whether they want a Batman, I can assure you they probably do.
I'm sure most people have played it. Probably it was only really a surprise to us. Everyone else saying, "Yeah, of course it's good." Phil's got some Mandalorians premiums in stock. The Batmans are premiums, by the way. The ridiculously special edition Elvira 40th, was it the 40th edition?
Yeah, he's got one of those in, isn't he?
And I believe, I think that is it. As I understand it, there's some rushes coming in the near future, and be hopefully looking to get a look at one of those, get close up at one of those. Now, music pins are not music pins. Actually, that would be unfair just to say it was a music pin. I'm sure if it was a Carpenter's or something, it would be fine.
Can you imagine how laid back a Carpenter's pin?
Oh yeah, that would be absolutely lovely. I've not played on the Willie Nelson pinball machine as yet either, but it's not music pins. I got to say this. It's let me just quantify this. Say rock music. I'm actually talking about. I think I'm talking about heavy metal. My favorite band are the Who. I love. It's not rock music per se. Paul Rodgers, if anybody knows who Paul Rodgers is, my favorite singer. From Free and then Bad Company. It's not that music, but it's heavy metal. I don't really get on with massively heavy metal or thrash metal. I don't know, whatever the thing is. So actually, these games come out, be them Iron Maiden and Metallica and ACDC and what did Andy say that one of the guys from Anthrax did the music for Black Knight Sword of Rage?
Night, yeah.
Something like that.
That rings bells. It does ring bells. I'm sure somebody will mention it in the comments.
Yeah, not my gig. Now, so I know Rush has got a lot of apathy. I wouldn't say, people saying that the hype around Rush being released. I thought people were mostly apathetic because I think because most people don't really know the music. I think what I've learned, and I've learned this very, very recently, actually, for me, theme isn't everything or anything at all. There are some themes which I thought were absolutely fantastic theme, and I thought, actually, I don't particularly want to keep the pinball machine. Or I loved Stranger Things, for instance. I absolutely loved the program Stranger Things. After a month, I didn't particularly want to play it anymore. So it's and I would have loved to have seen that. So it doesn't doesn't necessarily resonate with me. I mean, Jurassic Park, which Jurassic Park is on its way back, by the way, to Gonzo Towers. I wouldn't say I loved Jurassic Park, the film.
Gonzo Towers. The palatial surroundings of Gonzo Towers.
Oh yeah.
How are the peacocks, by the way? Are they all right? Are they good?
Oh, we don't talk about them.
Okay.
Bad luck.
Apparently, yes. Allegedly.
Yeah. Them and the long tails?
Yeah. Them and the long tails.
Them and the long tails. So Jurassic Park, I wouldn't say I love that game. I wouldn't say I'm into the Jurassic Park films. In fact, all the recent ones are total tosh. So, but I wouldn't judge that. When I played The Mandalorian, not the first couple of times, when I did actually but I played The Mandalorian LE, I thought, wow, actually, this is pretty damn good. The program's awful. It's like a computer game with just little side missions. It's like the same thing regurgitating all the time until you get to the end, but I won't give the spoiler. Unless you haven't seen it. So theme doesn't matter overly to me now. So I will judge Rush on its merits. One thing I had prejudged, I think, was ACDC, which I played for the first time earlier on today. I had 5 or 6, maybe more games. Really good, Spence.
Yeah, I mean, it's so why? What is so good about it? What's different to you what you expected? Why has it changed your mind?
Well, I don't know if it's different to what I expected. I just enjoyed it. The shots seem really good. It's really simple. It seems a relatively open playfield. It seems that way anyway. It's different. There's a lot of drop targets on it, which I'm not used to. There seems to be less shots on it than a lot of games, but I don't mind that. There are that alien. You've got an alien behind me. I mean, that's got loads of shots on it, loads and loads of shots. So it's fine.
Has got a lot.
As long as I'll tell you what, if it was just you only had one game, ACDC might not be it. But I started to play it and really enjoyed it. The bell thing is excellent. It's a good, got a good kinetic feel that they say about it. I've got to get to grips with the under playfield, lower playfield, whatever. The undercarriage,
the sub playfield.
Yeah. The sub playfield. Yeah, that's going to take some getting used to. Certainly. That's a bit different, but I really liked it. I thought, another game. Kept on playing it, and actually was disappointed that you had to go as early as you did, because it would have been good for you to play that. So
I will make a point of coming up and having a go on that before it disappears. I mean, it's one of those things. I think we're all guilty of it, really. I mean, whether it's rock games or whether it's games based on Marvel comics or whatever it happens to be. If it's something you're into, then you're drawn to it, even though it might not be such a great game. And if it's something that you're not really into, you kind of dismiss it as maybe it's not for you. And then you get a nice surprise. You do get a nice surprise out of it.
Yeah. Well, so I'm delighted with that, and thank you, Collie Wobbles, and Davey, and John and Scott.
Davey didn't know whose game it was, though, did he?
He didn't. No, that's it. Well, you'll see that in a Chinwag, actually. So that's really good. I just love getting the opportunity to get my hands on these games and get them in a home environment. Just when whatever the kids
to spend some real quality time with them.
Treat it good. Take it out. Show it a good time, Spence.
Absolutely. It should feel lucky.
It does. Make it feel special. Make it feel not like a location where you're just next the pinball machines there. Next punter, please. There you go. I don't know why.
Out of the machines you got at the moment, which one are you calling Princess? Which is your favourite?
That's here at the moment?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't say that because Deadpool, technically, even though it's not up on all fours, Deadpool is here. So you're asking me, basically the question is, do I like Deadpool more than Batman? Is the question that you're asking.
That is the fundamental question.
I'm not prepared to answer that. I don't like that sort of level of interrogation.
Talking of which, when are you going to start your leaderboard? When's that happening?
Okay, right. I'll tell you now. I bought these big magnets and I've lost them.
Are they really that big?
They're big.
You did that. That's huge.
No. They're whatever. They're 300 wide by 700.
Oh bloody hell! They are.
So I'm putting two of them together. I want it to look like the Top Gear leaderboard.
Okay.
But I've actually had quite a few games through here now. So anyway, I've lost them. I might have to reorder some more from Amazon. But you know how tight I am.
I was about to say the man cave isn't that big. Where the hell have you lost them?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm looking around now, like I'm going to find them right now. But they're here because then I've got to basically glue them onto a board and make a stand. I don't mean protest. I mean actually make a stand. I'm not putting up with it. I've got to make a stand, and so as I can, when we're talking about it, slap them on. I say, Judge Dredd, bang! There it is. It's above what's it and below something else. So I'm not prepared to disclose. But let me just have a little look now. By the way, and I just want to tell the criteria is I have to have had the pinball machine in this house, all right, which for the reasons that I said earlier, I have to be able to have spent some quality time with it and made it feel nice, right? So here's what will be on the list thus far. Alien, Batman 66, ACDC, Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, Avengers Infinity Quest, Elvira, Congo, Deadpool, Stranger Things, Attack from Mars, Star Trek Next Generation, The Walking Dead, Judge Dredd, Theatre of Magic, Popeye, Jackpot, Star Wars, Star Trek, the one you've got at the moment, Ghostbusters, Champion Pub. That ain't bad.
That's not a bad opening list, is it? That's quite bad. Varied as well. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a varied list.
Yeah,
I like that.
So it's going to be, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be some real tough decisions to make there. And obviously, I understand there's going to be focus on what's top and what's bottom. But so we got Matt coming round Matt's hopefully coming round at some point in the next 2 or 3 days. He's dropping off a pinball machine for me and to love and not I'm not buying one. But is
this a secret pinball machine?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how secretive to be. I do like a reveal video, you see, so I don't like to if you know what I mean. Yeah. I don't want to say too much at this early stage, but he's bringing.
It's never stopped you.
No, it's true. Yeah, so he's bringing something else over for me to love and cherish and take care of and treat right.
Take out, show a good time.
So take it to the cinema, sneak my arm around it. Hey, get off! Oh, sorry.
Out to dinner, that sort of thing.
While he's here, because do you remember when we did his Chinwag, I said, what's your favourite game? And he was a bit vague, but he did mention it. He really liked ACDC. So if he's going to come over here, I said, you fancy doing a tutorial on ACDC for the channel?
Oh, I'm glad you told him first rather than him finding out this way, because...
it depends if I... No, I did. He does know now before either this or I did do the quick...
You better phone him now.
No, I had phoned him, but I did say it on video, on the ACDC video before I'd mentioned it to Matt. So hold on, before this goes live, maybe I better talk to Matt. But anyway, we need to get Davey's Creature video out before the ACDC. One thing I did think though, and here's a little thought. I looked at that ACDC and the music, I recognise more of Highway to Hell. I didn't realise I knew that song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awful, but I knew it. And what I didn't realise quite. I think I know about 3 or 4 of the songs on there.
Yeah, you will do. You're the right age. You'll have grown up with them.
But what I thought was, I really like the shots. I really like it. I think I would be prepared to retheme that.
That's a good idea.
Okay, now here's the thing, because it's got the song titles at the back. I do wonder. I mean, bearing in mind they did the song Pinball Wizard. I know they've got a Tommy pinball machine, but it's not really a Who pinball machine. It's just not the Who. And the original one, it's not. It's from. Well, it's a rock opera. They didn't, don't always perform it naturally, and it's not them performing on it. But with that in mind, I would love to retheme, and I think it would have to be a music pin because the modes are songs, which I think is important.
Yeah. That stands to reason, yeah.
I'd love to retheme and do a Who pinball machine out of something like ACDC and get the playfield done and everything.
I'll be honest. We know people that do this sort of thing.
We do know people that know and do this stuff. Absolutely.
Would it be something that you would ask somebody that's done it before to do, or do you want to do it yourself?
No, I don't want to do it myself. No, I'd want to delegate and point and talk and film and all the rest of it. No, I mean, I can't say too much because Scott's got his videos of his revamp of Dracula.
I see what you did there.
Of his revamp of Dracula. That gets better, all right? By the way, I'll just say that, all right? It's obviously he's just taking the back box apart. I'm telling you, it all gets taken. I'm just saying, it's a slow.
I watched it the other day. It's early days.
He narrates it really well, but I'd say the cabinet gets redone. I don't want to give too much away at all. The playfield, I've seen the playfield. So the playfield went away. Yeah, the playfield went away to somebody, and it's been completely redone. So what you can do is actually you can send these playfields away to this person and actually say, I want you to retheme it. They'll change all the inserts, they'll change all the artwork and everything. Yeah, absolutely. So you'd pick your favorite songs. It just changes that, and then you just change everything inside it.
Do it. Make it happen. Make it happen. I think that would be a really, really good conversion for you to do. Really
yeah, well, I need to be sure. I need to be sure that that's the pin to do it on. But it is something. It's the one thing that annoys me is the music. I just thought, well, hold on a second. We could probably get pin sound to change the music. I know, for instance, Neil changed Iron Maiden. He don't like Iron Maiden music, so he's changed that. He's got disco music on it. I thought, well, hold on, if you're going to do, it's better than Iron Maiden.
I just can't see Neil and disco music. I'm sorry.
So can you see Neil and Iron Maiden? I'd say,
no, equally not. No.
I don't know if he's got Earth, Wind and Fire are better than Iron Maiden. You heard it here first. Anyway, what's his name? Is that Bill Withers?
I have no idea.
Bill Withers.
It sounds familiar, but it might be because you made it up before. I don't know.
I might have been. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not important at this point. They're thinking, hold on, hurry up. Where's the good stuff? Where's well, you're gonna see around Davey's.
Get rid of these two idiots and get a Chinwag on the go. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. So there's a retheme on it. I think the only problem is with pricing at the moment. A base model of almost anything is so expensive to then chuck loads on top.
You've really got to commit to it, haven't you?
I mean, you're seeing some. If you're looking at your initial spend is going to be $4 or $5 before you even done anything, before you've got anything sort of redesigned in terms of artwork on anything, be it the cabinet, the back box, the playfield, the pin sound, the audio files, all that other stuff which needs to be done. I think it's a hard ask really to then go and chuck however much on top there, but it turned out to be a dream theme, and that's why the shots have got to be right. I mean, I'm telling you,
it's got to be. I mean, it'd be interesting to find out what's at the top of your leaderboard, because that's going to give you a good indication of maybe a good machine to.
Well, I wouldn't touch those. Anything at the top of the leaderboard, I wouldn't know. I do think because they're songs. So I think that's why a music theme works well. I think you swap out the songs and then retheme it. I mean, it's probably...
Maybe Rush. You never know. Do you reckon anybody would notice if you rethemed it? Yeah, cool.
Well, I might like it. I might like it. I actually might like their music as well. I've not listened to enough of it. I'm not. One thing because it's not heavy metal. Rush isn't.
No, it's a bit of a funny one because there are certain bands that obviously are more popular in America. I mean, Kiss and Rush and those bands, they're not really. I mean, we've heard of them over here. I've heard of Rush and I've heard of Kiss, but they're not
Rush soft rock. I think
I believe they're soft rock.
Well, I quite like that stuff, so I might like it. I'll go into that with an open mind. And oh my word, the table is a complete copy of another Borg table. I don't know. I can't remember. It's X-Men or it's something. It's something like that.
Yeah, I've heard. I think a lot of the negativity towards that pin has been because it's just a rebranded X, whatever it is.
Yeah, but whatever it was, and I can't remember. I haven't really played, so I don't care. No. It's new to me. It may well be.
I think that's what's stopping people rushing out and buying it is because it's just it's a bit like is it Spider-Man and is it Star Trek?
It is Star Trek.
Yeah,
you've got very much
very similar games. Similar games apparently. And I think if you had one or you'd had experience of one, then you might poo-poo the other because it's just too similar. And I think that's what a lot of the sort of disparaging comments about Rush were. It's too similar to another game. But as you say, if you've never played it, then it's not a problem, is it?
No, if you've already got one, yeah, you're right. You probably wouldn't have Spider-Man and Star Trek at the same time. It'd be a little point. Anyway, you looking forward to Deadpool?
I am looking forward to Deadpool because I've played it before and I know it. And it's kind of got the sort of linear rule set I like. I know what I'm doing on it. I think it's going to be easy to pick up the rule set without diving too deep down the rabbit hole on it. And I've liked it before when I've played it. It's got a great theme. It's nice and amusing. Cannot wait to have it in the house and get some quality time with it.
Yeah, you're probably unlikely to treat it better than I treated it, is all I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. And I think John has been treating it quite nicely as well. He's probably thinking, I don't feel too special here. Looking around, probably feels a little bit inadequate. I'm thinking, hold on. Do you know what? I feel a bit guilty. He's probably looked around, and John brought in a Batman the other day, a Batman LE. And I think Deadpool was looking at it thinking, oh, that's a bit intimidating. It's Deadpool's thinking,
I'm glad I'm intimidated around here, I can assure you.
I'm glad I'm home now. At least he hasn't got a Batman, but I haven't told Deadpool that actually I've got a Batman here as well. So we'll have to.
I think the fact you haven't unpacked it is it's still got its coat on, basically. It's ready to go back out the door.
Yeah. Well, why? Listen, why not? Why not? There's all sorts of things going on here. You can enjoy it. And then, sort of you can wait around for your keep that, and then when your cactus comes, and then
looking forward to that. Still no news on that one yet. I know they're starting to ship in the US, but there's no news over here yet.
They've not started to ship over here. That's for sure. And there's not a lot. As I say, I think the next shipment is very much Rush. And as I said, there's some Mandalorian, some Batman, an Alien, and Elvira. They're in stock at Pinball Heaven. But there's a paucity of pins everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of new stock around. Not a huge amount.
No. And old stock, people are not really selling their old stock, even at... people are holding on to their pins, and I get that. It's... There was a bit of a
sort of a grand reshuffle, wasn't there, where there was pins just flying around all over the place for a short while. And I think maybe, I don't know how sustainable that is, but maybe everybody's done the shuffle that they want and they're all sat at home buying their pins now. Or maybe the sun's come out and they've nipped outside to go to the beach or whatever, and they're not focusing on pinball quite so much.
No, I think there's definitely a lack of movement, but I do think people are just hanging on because there's no new stuff coming in. I think when the new stuff does come in, I think you'll see a little bit of movement in the market again, particularly with those older Bally Williams titles as well. Anyway, right? Shall we play?
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, quick thanks to Davey for yesterday, and nice to see John again. Always a pleasure to see John.
Absolutely, yeah. It certainly was. We had a jolly good day, so thank you, Davey. We won't be back for an outro. So we can. I think the lads say goodbye when they're in Davey.
I think they can see themselves out, can't they?
You can, yeah. Off you go. See yourselves out. Apologies for a little bit of the sound quality. The microphones were getting caught on our clothing a little bit. So
that's not good. Was that idea of tucking them in not a? Okay.
It's perfect. It's perfectly audible. The person that's most distorted and muffled is me, and people be thankful for that. So
thank God for that.
I know. So yourself and Davey, who to be fair, are doing most of the because well, you know what you're talking about when you start talking about technology, electronics, and lights, and all. I'll just shut up anyway. So so all the important audio from you guys is on there certainly. So
good
cheers,
stuff.
matey.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
There we go. Right, Davey and Spencer, and let's just say at the start of this, all I can say is it goes on to start with a conversation about Lord of the Rings. Myself and Davey, having both had that particular machine, we didn't see any issue with talking about the difficulty.
No, don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Spencer doesn't know. Spencer doesn't know the game. Spencer hasn't played Lord of the Rings. We're cut to the clip now. He doesn't know what we're talking about. We are rolling. Davey and Spencer. We're at Davey's house. He's saying goodbye to Lord of the Rings. How's it been for you, mate?
See ya, Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's a great game. At the same time that I was playing Theatre of Magic for the first time, this is in Bondi, Beach Road Hotel, had Theatre of Magic and it had Lord of the Rings. I really enjoyed it then, but it's been great having it in the house because it is one of those games that you sort of need to understand. It's quite complex, sort of how it's all put together, how you pull out the multi-balls. We were saying earlier, Chris, the destroy the ring mode.
The nerves.
Yeah,
the nerves.
Stressful, super stressful. Was it you or John? I don't think holds it. Or I'm not sure who holds the record for destroying the ring in like 20 seconds or something.
I think you'll probably find it's me, David. I don't know why you even asked the question.
Anyway, somebody, not me, destroyed it in like an obscenely short amount of time.
I can't believe you're having a conversation about destroying a ring in the shortest amount of time. Sorry, I haven't played the game. For me,
I take my time when I'm destroying.
You understand the concept of the one ring, Spencer? Surely you might not have played the game. You understand about
I'm having massive context failure whilst you're talking about this. I have to say.
Okay. Right. Well, let's get moving then. Let's get moving.
Lord
of the Rings has been great. Thanks a lot, John. Really appreciate it, mate. Loved it.
Well, I had that first. John had it first, then I think Martin had it, then I had it, and then John had it back, and now Davey's had Lord of the Rings. We keep on swapping all games with each other. Yep. See this?
That's great. Sorry,
this is great. Should we put the headbox up on this?
No. It's fine. No, because we've got a video coming on Creature. They're not allowed to see the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Well, there is a special workshop version of this going on. Now we're actually going to go and see Davey's private quarters.
Davey's private quarters.
The Dungeon O' Love.
Excuse the brightness. I would turn it down, but we're only going to walk.
It's my lovely back garden.
We're only going to walk a short distance, and then we're going
the workshop.
Into the workshop.
Look in here.
This is the workshop.
With plenty.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow, what a little Aladdin's cave.
Isn't it? This is where the magic happens.
Can we switch the lights on
just in case? Let me see if I can...
Hey, they're lollipop lights, not just any lights. So, Spencer, there are all types of things. Every time you take a step, they sort of rotate and flash.
All braided with purple clips.
You've got it all organised in here.
Yeah, so shall I talk you through it a little bit?
Run us round.
All right, sure.
We'll do a sort of a sweep.
Yeah, so we've got 3 games. We can fit 3 games in here. We'll talk those through first, shall we? Sorry about. I mean, as always, it's a working workshop. So I've always got loads of bits.
Stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a warehouse and a postal office and a games housing unit, and it's multi-purpose. But we've got 3 games here at the moment. We got Funhouse, which is the Rudy's Nightmare version, just been released.
Cool. So this is the 0.20 thing.
This is version 2. So it's running a fast board and a pin sound in the back. Can run the original ROM, so you can play the original Funhouse, and then it also runs the new code, which is a brand new reimagining of Funhouse with different rule sets, and you can see the LCD screen in the back there, whereas it was previously alphanumeric. It's a brand new speaker panel, a brand new translite in the back there, and then another LCD screen actually on the playfield to show you what's happening.
So what do you think to it?
What do I think of it?
Yeah, the 2.0.
I love it. Yeah, brilliant. Really, really great job. I mean, I think that they've, I've been doing a little bit of testing help for them.
So you've been involved.
So I'm a little bit associated.
Kind of on the development, have you?
No, I wouldn't say that I'm a developer. See, it's all coding's done completely by Janos Kiss, who is ex-Highway Team Pinball. They sort of were involved in Mafia most recently, and then Janos has then been doing the code work for this. So all I've been doing is helping out on the testing side.
Because I've heard you mention Janos before numerous times. He seems like quite a player in this.
Yeah. He's a really good guy. I've not known him before this, so it's been a great chance to sort of get to know him, see his work up close. So myself and a couple of other people from around the world have just been helping out. Basically, just do user acceptance testing on the code, and they've finished it now. They've been sending it out to customers. It's been getting received really well, and I think they've set the bar really high for all the subsequent 2.0 kits that.
I think the more of that can happen with these older machines,
I completely agree.
So it basically, aside from all the other stuff, it's turned it into a DMD. It's turned it into an LCD, I guess, if you sort of differentiate between the two.
I think it breathes life into older games.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably as well from a manufacturing point of view as well. Like if you have your sights set on creating a pinball machine, having a factory that can produce all of the different aspects of a whole entire game is a hugely costly and complicated undertaking. So, without, you need to buy a factory and you need to buy all the kit, and, it's a huge, multi-million-dollar thing. And companies like Haggis have managed to do it, but it's always touch and go whether they're actually going to make it or not, They need to borrow huge amounts of money.
That's the feeling I get. All of these startups, they're hanging on by their fingernails onto the edge of it for such a long time.
Yeah, and we all hope that they do, because obviously the more companies making pinball machines, the greater the hobby is.
Yeah.
But for smaller companies who might not have that level of investment, doing a conversion kit like this makes a lot of economic sense for them.
I think so. I mean, you've got a ready-built platform out there, and there's so many people with really good technical skills and really good ideas, and to be able to take a perfectly good existing machine and be able to enhance it, you can still play the original code. So you haven't ruined the machine. No. It's still exactly the same machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not start off with these? Because they've got great artwork, great gameplay.
And you can, with these kits, I guess the people who make the kits can do as little or as much as they like, as far as changing the original game goes. I mean, you can do the whole entire rule set like they've done here. You can install auto plungers if you want to, incorporate some new mechs into the game. There's plenty of options. And I'm a big believer in it. So I've been really, I've been a big supporter of any time that I hear about, somebody doing something like this, I try and get involved and help them out in any way I can.
I'll be gutted if they do one for theatre now. I've got rid of that.
Probably not.
Well, they don't need to, really, do they?
No. I mean, theatre's probably got a... But some people call it easy. I don't find it particularly easy, but, I'm not a great player. Some people find it easy, potentially making it more complex, a la the Totan 2.0 that's coming out. Might be a thing, but, who knows? I mean, there's a whole plethora of games out there that could be potentially have this treatment, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, poor old Julian down in Devon, he's got all of the Bally Williams, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does.
So he could be in for an expensive time if they crack on with that.
Okay, well, let's move on. This is Brighter Pinbot.
Yep.
As I'm sure many people recognise. This is in an unrefurbed state. This has probably had a a really decent refurb already, other than the playfield, which is going to get changed out. This hasn't had anything done to it yet. I've got all the bits ready to go to turn this into a Bride of Pinbot 2. So new playfield, new Bride's Head. I've got all of the P-Rock stuff in the back.
Wow.
The LCD that's going to be for it. Zion X making me a new back glass and a few other bits, some new decals. So this is going to hopefully be ready in time for Pinfest this year.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm going to take Funhouse 2,
Yeah.
Bride of Pinbot 2 if it's ready. And then I'm trying to convince Jim, my Pinballs, to take all of his 2.0 games as well.
Do you know what? To get those to Pinfest would be just a really fantastic thing to do.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Because I mean, you know, not many people have an opportunity to play these games just because, look at that hunk of a man over there. We'll get on to you in a second, Spence. I'm going to get these. It's not your turn yet, mate.
I'm going to get these legs powder coated. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. Not many people have a chance to play these kits just because, you know, they don't make that many of them. You have to have the game already. Then you have to have the extra money to kit them out and probably a little bit of technical nosh in order to convert them. So I just thought it would be an amazing opportunity to take these games to Pinfest, as well as Jim's, who's done an amazing job.
Does Jim know about this yet, or are we?
That's beside the point. That's exclusive, Jim. I hope you're watching. See you at Pinfest, buddy. Yeah, he knows. I mentioned it to him. He was up for it. He was up for it.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Talk to me about ACDC.
ACDC. That came from lovely mate John, Mr. J-Mac on the forum. I'm sorry, it did not come from John at all, did it? Should we start again?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Cole's going to kill me.
No,
it's only because we've just been speaking to John, and I've got John on the mind.
Do you know,
it's not John's pinball machine at all.
You're embarrassed. We're not.
No. It's Collie Wobbles.
I'm so embarrassed.
It's poor Colin.
Cole's never going to lend me a game again.
Poor
He's
Colin.
like, you going to let me?
The fact
that I'm
the
getting
job
confused
is,
with people.
you were going to give it to John. That was the issue.
I know, that's the
John,
I'm getting
here's your
confused in this web of mystery and mystique that we anyway. It's Collie Wobble's game, ACDC. He very kindly lent it to me recently because I needed to do some testing for Lollipops, which is a mod that I build. And I've just been recently trying to get it a bit more compatible with all the different architectures and things.
Yeah.
So ACDC is a SAM architecture, Stern SAM architecture game. And Cole's got a Spider-Man that he's refurbing at the moment, asking me whether Lollipops would be compatible with it. I had no idea whether it was or it wasn't.
I don't know. Lend me one.
So so he very kindly lent me ACDC.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, to do some testing with, which is fantastic, and it means I get to have ACDC here for a few months, and you know, really enjoy it. And it's a great game. And this is a really lovely example. It's the premium Lucy version, I believe that it is. It's certainly got the back glass that's the Lucy version.
Yeah.
But it's got the lovely mini playfield underneath, which in my opinion is one of the nicest mini playfields about. You know, getting the ball to loop around the devil head is such a great thing. So yeah, I love ACDC. The music's fantastic. Big ACDC fan. We had a non-pinball playing friend and his little boy and myself in here the other night, all on a game each. I had ACDC cranked all the way up, and we were just dancing and playing pinball.
Nice.
And it was one of those amazing.
You managed to find
moments.
2 other people that liked ACDC's music.
Can you believe that?
They want to say that. It's amazing.
I did have to go. I had to ask around.
Yeah. Amazing.
Non-ACDC fans need not apply. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you like the game?
Yeah, I do. It's not my absolute favourite of Stearns of that era, I don't think. I think the music for me makes it. The bell is fantastic, which is another reason why I think you have to go premium or above on this one. The moving bell is just a fantastic Mac. But I got to say, I just don't quite understand it.
No, fair play. Fair play. How
Bit
long have you had it
complicated, is
for?
it?
Well, I don't know if it is or it is. Like, you know, it's just a music pin in the sense that each song is a mode, isn't it? So you sort of choose your mode when you start, and then there's certain shots to do to complete that mode, and then once you've done that, then you hit multi-ball, and it sort of just all feels a little bit samey. But whether I've just not.
How long have you had it for?
Not long.
Right, okay, that probably explains it then.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably plenty of people who go, it's a lot deeper than that.
You should
There's
read
this
the rule
and
set,
this.
spend hours.
I know. And look, I could not even tell you, what all these lights, the mode lights mean at the bottom.
So you've just been playing it and enjoying it?
Just playing it.
Did you get your stuff
amazing.
sorted out? Did you work out whether you could get the
Yeah,
system to work with all the
Lollipops
lollipops?
is 100% SAM compatible, which is awesome.
That's really good news.
Which is really good news, yeah. And I've already got a couple of people who are lined up for one of those boards with one of their SAM games, which is awesome. Haven't been able to get it working with White Star yet. I've got it like half working, but the sensors only register 80% of the time, so it needs more work done, unfortunately.
More work.
Yeah, but should we go through all of the...
Yeah, talk me through...
This side of the shed.
Talk me through Aladdin's Cave and your production workshop.
Yeah, well, I've got all my boxes of screws and bags and zip ties, and this is all...
I'm particularly loving the cables
Isn't that
here.
beautiful? So... Can I fancy you in some...
A metre of something for the
metre?
weekend?
2 metres?
2 metres,
How much?
lovely.
Yeah, this is... Honestly, I was saying it earlier. Having all of my wires to Spencer...
I've just noticed something.
Spencer, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fire extinguisher. Very important. Very important. It was one of those things, right, where at 2 a.m. one morning, in bed, I woke up. It wasn't even like that. It was just like, what if the shed's on fire?
Oh my word.
It was nothing
okay.
it was nothing that sort of, there was no reason for it.
Because that'll fight it.
But I just, I'd have to get out here first, wouldn't I? And it's on the inside too, where the fire would be.
Absolutely.
So I got another one inside, but it just freaked me out, so I put them in. So I got all my pinball fixing bits up here, plastics and
I can see everything's labelled
headers
beautifully.
and lamp sockets and switches and all that kind of stuff. So that's all pinball stuff there. These are all my mods.
Yeah.
And so they're all boxed up in their various... right, yeah. Pops. This is the one I was talking about earlier.
Right.
So within here, we've got the post light, the post light PCBs that are the little.
So these are for the clear star posts. They go underneath those.
Yep. These are the clear star posts. They sit
Really
under there.
like those.
Yeah, they're really lovely. They look fantastic.
That is. I don't know whether you can. That is really. I mean. So your star post sits on top of that, and those light up underneath it.
Yeah, and it connects to a board that controls it.
Wow.
Full colour.
Well, also, the
patterns,
system is good,
reactive.
Davey, because I fitted star posts, which I think was possibly the Comet Matrix system
It
star
was,
post.
Yeah, I remember you doing that.
No, well, I fitted those later on when I tried it on the Star Trek Next Generation. They were just regular star posts, which had to be soldered on, and there was a lot of faffing around. So these, but it's not just that. You get in these, so they light up sequentially, and you can program them, which goes on to what you were talking about in the Chinwag.
Yeah, exactly. So I've sort of followed the Comet model in that they use what they call Comics Matrix connectors. They're actually JSTPH, these very tiny connectors. So I followed their format just because it's a pretty standard format, nice to be compatible as much as possible.
It's a user-friendly little plastic plug, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're decent. They're decent. They're not infallible like larger varieties, but they're pretty decent. And so because it's all sort of connector based, you just fit them when you're either doing a refurb or when you've got all your bits off. Feed these wires through the playfield or connect them up into splitters. They all feed into the bottom of the playfield and then connect into a controller board, which is something like that.
It's really good plug and play stuff.
Yeah.
It really is.
I try and make it as idiot-proof as possible.
Well, I fitted one of your screens.
Well, there you go. Proof is in the pudding, mate.
I think that's Dan's testament, really.
That's not the rib tickler or whatever it was. What was it called? The rib master.
No, the rib tickler.
What's it called again?
The Rippler.
The Rippler. The Rippler, mate.
You little beauty.
Yeah, you bonza.
You can take the boy out of Australia.
Yeah. So this is Lollipops, which is it's effectively like a control board for LEDs that also has sensors attached to it. So the sensors can be attached to switches, lamps, flashes, coils, anything that is on the underside of a pinball machine that does something, and it'll pick up that thing is turned on, either a switch or whatever, and then it'll do something on the LEDs. So the LEDs just plug in like that. When the board turns on, the LEDs will sort of just do some kind of what I call an at-rest pattern. So they'll just sort of pulse or something like that.
You can program what the
Whatever
at-rest pattern is, can't you?
Yeah, exactly right. And then when the sensor goes off, there's like a sort of a configuration matrix, so you can say that sensor is connected to that LED or that set of LEDs, play this pattern for X amount of seconds, and then you can control what pattern it is and what the patterns do.
I have to say that I don't know whether you've seen it, but I did that video about installing my board. I got a lovely surprise on that because it came with a lollipop, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And actually, straight out of the box, without any configuring at all, Chris, they were actually pretty good. So you don't need to be particularly technical to do anything with them.
I mean, I get them set up so that they're sort of doing something.
They're doing something, yeah.
Doing something straight away. And then if you want to get deeper into it, if you want to, configure the lights so that it's more in tune with the game aesthetic, which we were talking about earlier, I think it's really important to try and sort of, blend in the colours of these things, because you want them to be impressive, to people where they go, oh, that looks amazing. But you don't want it to take away from the aesthetic of the game. I think that's really important.
No, you don't want a light show that's going to bring on some sort of epileptic fit, do you?
Well, it's also a different colour scheme, so if you're looking at ACDC, you want some red lights and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah.
There's lots of reds and yellows in there, isn't there?
Yeah. So that's the kind of the pattern you'd go to. So typically I don't have one of my, so in Creech, we might have seen before, I usually put the LED rings in the pop caps, which is
cool.
The tops of the pop bumper will have a cap on it. The LED ring goes in sort of the outside of the cap. But if you quickly zoom in on the ACDC over there, on the pops at the back there, you can see that they've got a different sort of cap in there.
Yeah, that's particularly tricky, isn't it?
It is a bit tricky. However, and it's the same thing with Sam and White Star games, and indeed all modern Sterns have this kind of format. I expect because they were trying to conserve a bit of space by having smaller caps, but it means that you can't really put an LED ring in there in the same way. However, the pop bodies are exactly the same. This is a pop body. They've sort of kept them the same over the years. The same kind of, that one will be white, this one's a clear one.
Yeah.
And so what we've done to try and sort of get better compatibility with the Sams and the White Star and the modern Sterns is a new kind of LED ring. So this is a custom PCB that I've done myself.
That's really cool. So have you 3D printed that yourself?
No, these are printed just like the circuit boards. In production now, just come out, and they've got LEDs on the top and the bottom. So you'll get lights going up.
Just hold it up a little bit higher, please, Davey. Thanks, mate.
Like that.
Yeah.
Can you show where it goes on the piece of plastic there?
So I take the connectors off and the wires will feed through, but I'll just demonstrate
very
like
roughly.
this. Yeah, and then that just sits in there
like
like
that.
that.
Custom fit, isn't it?
And then the original cap then sits on the top.
Very nice,
and then they're driven in exactly the same way as the other ones.
That's really nice.
And the good thing about these ones is, rather than just the lights going up and having it visible just at the top, the lights will also be visible at the bottom, so it'll actually spread the light around that section of the playfield.
That's really cool.
Well.
Any additional illumination on a playfield, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the fact that it is perfectly tailored for that is quite something else.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of people. So I've made a couple of posts just on the various forums about these. I had good reactions. There's a couple of people who've already ordered them, so yeah, really looking forward to seeing how people put these in their games.
Excellent. So one thing I did spot earlier on that made me laugh was talk about your fume extractor.
Yeah,
what's
my fume extractor. This is a very important piece of kit that all leaded-based soldering experts have.
Oh, this is for a genuine purpose, as opposed to something you thought that might be a good idea.
It's nothing to do with flatulence.
No.
Sure?
No, it pulls. It
does pull. Okay.
It pulls fumes out of the air and redistributes them
back into the air. Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a very small bit of gauze at the front, which may or may not extract.
But it certainly makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yes. Look, at the very least, when I'm hovering over the board soldering, it's not going directly up there. So I try and keep a door open. Everybody needs to be aware that, look, I've tried non-leaded solders, and I think
they don't work as well, do they?
They don't work. They don't spread. They don't go liquid. So I've had no luck. I mean, I still think that they can be used, whether I've not found the right type. but I have no luck with them, so I have to use leaded solder. And so it does mean that when I am soldering, you've got to be a little bit aware that it's toxic stuff.
Don't breathe the fumes, kids.
Yeah.
So talk us through what else you've got on the table here.
So we've got Pinpoint here. That was, we don't have to go too in-depth in that one. We talked about it during the last...
Yeah, what does that board do?
This sits on the sound bus of a Williams game.
Right,
yeah.
That's, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
so
with you
the
on
ribbon
that.
cables in the back box of a pinball machine.
Yeah.
The ribbon cables are used for the boards to communicate to each other. So the CPU will tell the soundboard to play a sound.
So this is hijacking that signal and using that to fire different LEDs.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So these are all ready to go. I'm just waiting on the cabling. And the Chinese factories at the moment, the guys who are making my cabling are running late. Something about COVID. I don't know whether you've heard about it.
Yeah, there's this big thing in China, apparently.
There's this thing. I don't, yeah. Anyway, so I'm waiting on some cables, but as soon as I get those cables, they're going to be going off to people.
So they'll be ready to ship. You've got orders waiting to go out, have you?
Yep, we've got about 20 people who are waiting to go on that one.
Cool.
And I probably don't have enough boards yet to support it. I usually order 10 in the initial run, but thankfully all 10, were fine. So these will be going out to people very soon.
Fantastic. And you test every board before it goes out?
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I have there's a box up here that's called test rigs.
That's
and
cool.
I've got a rig for every board to put it through its paces before they go out, as much as humanly possible to make sure they're working.
You can never be 100%, but you can at least make the effort to try.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, test them all before they go out. I was talking about the lollipops before and it being compatible with different systems. They're now modular, so the different sensor units will fit onto the front here.
What do you when you say different sensor units? What are we talking about?
So this will be to pick up white star sensors.
So machine to machine. So your lollipop board is a vanilla flavour.
Yep.
And you can swap out these modules to go in different machines.
Exactly. So you can buy the one lollipops board. If you decide you don't want it in your Creech anymore and you want to stick it in ACDC, you just swap out one of these, which is a tenner. And then
that's brilliant.
You don't have to buy a whole new board.
That's brilliant.
Nice, yeah.
I'm liking that a lot.
Yeah. So very cool. I mean, look, there's some very clever people around who build very clever boards, and I saw this in other people's boards, and I was like, that is such a great idea. So incorporate it into my own.
I have to admire the fact that you're making these modular. So, as you say, you don't just buy it for one machine. If you do want to transfer it across, I really do appreciate the fact that you've allowed people to do that.
Yep.
So many manufacturers are putting sort of almost built-in obsolescence into kit, which is. You can kind of see why they're doing it.
It's win-win. I mean, from a consumer point of view, it's cheaper to transfer between games, and from my point of view,
it's nice to play fair, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and also it's less boards to manage as well. Like if I had to produce one of these per architecture, then suddenly I'm managing 3 different designs, 3 different production schedules. When I run out of something, I have to remember. Like this
a sneaky person would solder that in. You see?
Yeah. No, I mean, I like, pushing the boundaries. If I see a good idea, I have to incorporate it into my own stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good thinking. Yeah. Completely forgot about it. I just don't even notice it.
So what else have we got on the?
Wind it up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just quickly.
Well, this is an afterglow board. So again, another modular concept here. This is the afterglows we saw inside that manage like the insert lights and fading them really nicely. And this is an Eddy board. The same kind of boards that are in Theatre of Magic, where it picks up the boards in the out lane and then energizes the magnets.
I am very familiar with those. And just finally, this is a backboard for your pin to DMD.
That's the pin to DMD,
which
the HD version.
I fitted to theatre.
Yeah.
There's a video on the.
I think you've actually got exactly the same pose there that you have in the thumbnail.
It's
exactly the same pose.
Well, there you go.
It's like a shopping channel, isn't it?
It's
really is.
at the end of the day, what else are you going to do with it? You can't balance it on the chin.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel it's the same pose.
Surely there's got to be
people can pause it there and look at the thumbnail. I know. I saw those earlier.
So these are the.
See if you can work out what because this is for a specific game or specific 2 games actually.
Holy cow.
See if you can work out what one that will be.
We'll leave that for the comments because I don't know.
Yeah, actually,
well, I do know, but I'll leave that for the comments.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I know. Otherwise, clear as day what
There are
game that's
stacks and stacks and stacks of
never ending.
PCBs
never
and
ending.
beautifully cut out bits of artwork and woodwork and
Yeah.
all sorts of crazy things in here.
Yeah. It's a fun little retreat for me, you know, and I enjoy every minute of it, especially when stuff's working.
Yeah. What's been happening in the last 24 hours?
I blew up my iMac.
That's right.
I was debugging one of the lollipops in game in the pinball machine. So the iMac was connected to the lollipops board, connected to the to Creech, and then stupidly I wasn't watching what I was doing. It was late at night, and the board touched one of the coils, and the lollipops board was fine. The program was fine. The iMac toast.
Oh no!
So what are we going to buy?
What are we going to buy? We are
USB
Dad.
breakout
Yes, Dad.
box.
We're going to buy what do you call them? An active USB
An
hub.
active USB hub. USB hub.
yeah,
So at
yeah.
least you got something between your Mac and the rest of your kit.
Yeah.
Anyway, great. Thank you so much for showing us around.
Inviting us to your
Yeah.
defumed man cave.
Absolutely. Safe in the knowledge that we're not going to catch fire, and if we do, you're going to put us out.
Yeah. And it was, just to be clear earlier on, it was an unnamed virus from an unspecified origin. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Unnamed virus.
Yeah. Cheers, Davey. Spencer,
guys. Thanks
nice
for coming.
fun. Cheers, fellas.